excuse my hair. I need to, like, I just curled it and I'm letting it cool. And then I'm gonna like run my fingers through it. So right now it looks very piecey, which don't let your hair stay piecey when you curl it. You have to like run your fingers through it, but I'm letting it kind of cool before I do that. Hello. We are here to do a makeup video, which it's been a while, and it's gonna be a glam gossip. I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions that you may have regarding either the new year or just Drena's move or whatever. So I have a party tonight, so we're gonna be getting ready for that while I answer some of your guys' questions that you had on Instagram. I'm not doing anything that you guys haven't really seen before. Just gonna do a full face. Let's just start with answering some of your guys' questions. First one is, what do you love most about your job? If you are not aware, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you do not know this, I don't think. But I do have a new position within my job. So I still work at the same place that I have since we moved to Oregon. But I got a new position. So I am now an operations trainer at my job. So I take the new hires and train them on all of our systems, and I'm essentially like their first week person once they get hired at the company. So I am pretty much their welcoming person that is also teaching them. Love my new job. I absolutely adore it. I did go to school for a while to be a teacher and just found that like too overwhelming, but I still had a love for teaching and mentoring. This is like the perfect balance of like my financial world plus my love for teaching, because I'm essentially, even though I'm a trainer, I'm essentially a teacher to the new hires. So I am obsessed with it. I was just talking to Drew about how like it's literally just like the perfect job for me, because I can do two things that I love and I don't have to worry about them being young, immature children, because they are getting a financial job, so they have to be like at least 16, so I don't have to worry about bratty kids. I also don't have to worry about if they don't want to be there, because if you don't want to be there, you wouldn't be there. And I also don't have to worry about creating my own lesson plans, because we have like a standard, like same procedure pretty much for every new hire group. So like the week pretty much looks the same and it's all pretty much laid out for me. So I don't have to worry about creating lesson plans, and I don't have to worry about stupid parents getting involved and things like that I would have with being a teacher. But I still get to teach and I love it. It's literally my perfect job. I think I've finally found my niche. Next question, how do you get your skin so perfect? So this was, I think I posted a selfie along with like my question. I hate this question because I feel like I am that girl. I'm just blessed with good skin. I love my skin and I am truly blessed with just good skin. So I hate being asked the question because I am that bitch that just like can say like I was just blessed with good skin. I get it from my mom. I literally don't have to do anything with my skin and I don't take care of it and should take better care of it, I know, but yeah, you can hate me, I promise, it's okay. And I also do have this like amazing foundation, which I highly recommend, the Kick-Ass All Day Wear foundation, but in general, I have good skin. When are you moving back to Iowa? So this was asked by my sister, and she knows the answer to this question, but For any inquiring minds who legitimately want to know, the answer for me, like at least at this point in time, is never. I am so happy since moving out of Iowa, and I don't plan on going back. I don't, even if we like get tired of Central Oregon, which I don't foresee me ever getting tired of it, but even if we do, the plan is not to move back to Iowa. It is to just move somewhere else. Drew has family in Arizona, and I really like Arizona. I like the warmth. So I think that would probably be where we moved next. If we were to move out of Central Oregon, we would definitely move to Arizona. He could work in the forest that he worked in a few summers ago. As for moving back to Iowa, negative ghostwriter. How long have you and your husband been together? So our anniversary is, like dating anniversary is May 13th, so it's almost 8 years. We've been married for a little over a year, so it was a year in October of 2019. What is one thing you loved at your wedding, one thing you would have done differently? So one thing I loved at my wedding, we wrote our own vows. Loved that. I also loved that we chose to save money with our wedding because we knew we wanted to go to Hawaii for our honeymoon. So I would never go back and change that. I got a 3-week honeymoon, so I love that we chose to go about it the cheaper route. Definitely a different wedding photographer. Would have spent more on a wedding photographer for sure. Wedding planning advice. Biggest advice that I found out after I'd already sent my RSVPs out was to mark the back of the RSVP with a number that corresponded with the person. Because even though to me it just makes sense to put a return address on an RSVP, there were people that didn't. And there were people that didn't write their name on the RSVP like anywhere, which I didn't include a name line. Which I guess I could have either done that or just like wrote a number on the back, because there were a lot of RSVPs that we got back that were blank, and we were like, cool, 2 people are coming, who are they? I don't know. Literally like right after I sent out the RSVPs that like I saw that for advice, and I was like, oh, it's okay, they'll put a return address, it'll be fine. No, they don't. There were a lot of people that RSVP'd and didn't show up just based on count that we had, so I could like know who did that if I would have kept better track of that. So that's my biggest advice. Find some way to keep track of the RSVPs that you send out, whether that be a number on the back of them or like pre-filling the return address on like the envelopes that you provide, or put in a line for people to put their names, something. Personally, and this is all personal preference, but my advice is to spend the money on your honeymoon, not on the wedding. So if you can save money on the wedding to spend more on a honeymoon, life is all about the experiences and adventure, at least mine is. So if I could give any advice to anyone, that is what it will be, because your wedding is one day and you may not even remember much about it because it is such a whirlwind of a day. So I still just fully stand by what we did, where we kind of just chose not to spend much on the wedding and spend more on the 3-week honeymoon, because I will never forget my honeymoon and all of my details that went into my honeymoon. I will remember more than all of the little details of my day. What does Drew think of your YouTube? He doesn't really care. He knows that I enjoy doing it, so he lets me and he helps me for things I need help with regarding my YouTube if I need something. And he knows, like I said, he knows that I enjoy doing it, so he is 100% supportive of it. He just wants me to remain authentic and myself, which I definitely think I do. So he is just a little more cautious on that side of things, where he does not want it to turn into, if I start finally succeeding, to make sure that I stay grounded, and also to not become ungrounded in order to just finally start growing. Where are you at right now in life? Hopefully you're more so thinking like, what's been going on, because that's how I'm taking it as. So again, I have my newer position, which I got back in October of last year. So I'm working hard on growing within that position. As of September of last year, I've been going to school for marketing, which you guys may or may not know that based on what all you follow me on. So I've been doing that. That's where I'm currently at in life, pretty much. Still living in the same place we've moved to since last May, and still loving my apartment, as long as I answered the question as you asked it. Next question, which may have also been the intention of the last question, I'm not sure. Next question just straight up asks, are you gonna have kids soon? Soon is a relative term. Drew is still seasonal with his job, so we want to make sure he gets his full-time position before even considering. That's pretty much all there is. We don't know exactly when that full-time position will come. We're just waiting for that. And then of course, we love adventuring, so kids mess up the adventuring aspect of life. Still live in an apartment. We're still figuring out if like how long we want to stay here, and he's still seasonal, so it's just not realistic until he's at least full-time. What are some exciting things happening in 2020? I was originally supposed to have a wedding in March, which is no longer happening. So may or may not be flying back to Iowa in March. Might just take that time off to relax here, because I'd already asked for it off at work. Or I might just work that time, because in June, I think it is, I'm supposed to be going to Vegas with my family, or meeting them there at least, because obviously they're in Iowa. In October, Drew and I are heading up to Seattle finally and spending some time up there for our wedding anniversary. After that trip is planned, I am going to a conference for work in Colorado. Yeah, that's all that I can think of right now that's on the dock for this year. Can you name some of your 2020 intentions? So intentions kind of overlapping with resolutions is how I think of intentions. So I have already been working on working out more and improving my health, which you would know about if you watched my last video. I want to go to once a week posting on YouTube. I want to consistently hold on to that. So that is definitely something that I am working on, and so far so good. I really want to grow all of my social media, mostly like YouTube and Instagram are my biggest concerns. Decluttering my belongings, so that is definitely something that I am really thinking about and really being intentional of purchases. And then save at least $3,000 in savings. So I am horrible at saving money. I really need to build my savings up. So those are kind of like my resolutions slash intentions for this year. How is Drew? He's wonderful. In my opinion, he is. He loved his job this last year, so he's ready to go back for sure. Since he's, like I said, since he's seasonal, he's kind of stuck in limbo right now. But yeah, we're good. He's good. Good. Will you attempt juicing again? Good question. Yes. So I do want to attempt it again, but I'm going to do it pre-made. As for like actually juicing at home, as of this point in time, probably not. So it did not play out, and it doesn't make sense to try it again if it's gonna play out the same way. So as of this point in time, yes on like pre-made juices, probably not at home. I'm not sure yet. What is your Starbucks order? So I order, most commonly it's a cold brew with caramel and cream, super simple. But more recently I tried a cold brew. It's always cold brew. Love cold brew. But I recently tried a cold brew with toffee nut, vanilla, and cream. So it's 3 pumps, I get a venti always, 3 pumps toffee nut, 3 pumps vanilla for 6 pumps total of syrup, and cream, so like half and half. So good. Advice for getting out of Iowa. You have to want it. That's my biggest thing. You have to truly want to leave. So many people like say they want to leave and then just like don't like actively try to leave. So that's not gonna get you anywhere if you are just saying it and not actively trying. So everyone is always like, oh, moving's expensive, blah, 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 and I won't doubt that at all. You definitely have to pay for like your first month or so of deposit for your new place, and you have to pay for gas to get to where you're going, and you have to have some time off between to get a new job, but you have to truly want it, and it's so easy once you really want to. I started looking for jobs as soon as we knew we were leaving, so December is when we knew, and we were planning on being out in May. So as soon as December, like we found out we were leaving, I started looking for jobs. So I had a job lined up like an entire month before I left. So it's not hard to get a job as long as you're actively applying, and Indeed.com is like, it makes it so easy. Recognize that if you're in an apartment, you'll probably get your deposit back as long as you took care of everything. So that deposit can help go towards your next deposit. But if it doesn't, if you don't get one, like you just have to have, like, I'd say safely 4,000 saved up for a deposit, depending on where you're going. Don't use a mover. Just pack all your crap into your car. Like whatever you can't fit, just don't take it. We had to make some changes in what we had in our possessions, so that definitely happens. But if you really want to move, you can do it. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. Like it was, for the most part, we had our deposit that we had to pay for. That's pretty much it. Finding a place to live, that's the hardest part. As long as you're actively looking on Zillow. I specifically looked up like different real estate places here. I think that's what I'm trying to think of. So like I looked up like real estate companies or apartment companies here in this location. So I wasn't just looking on Zillow, I was looking on specific websites of the different apartment companies here. So like, for example, back home there was Hunziker. They had like multiple apartment buildings. So I looked at like Hunziker's website. I'm not going to give like specific names that I looked at here, but that's what I mean. I didn't just look at Zillow. I didn't just look at Craigslist. I went straight to the source. I had an entire list of like 20 different rental companies. I'm still struggling with this, that I went to their website and looked, and I actively emailed them and was like, hey, we're moving out May, blah, blah, blah. We have 2 cats. Will you have an opening of at least 1 bedroom? Super easy if you're active and you truly want to leave. That's my biggest thing. I have no sympathy for someone that says they want to leave and then doesn't actively try, because there are so many people that are just like, it's so hard to find a job. No, it's not. Not if you're trying. If you want to leave, leave. You can't leave like immediately, probably, but it took us from December to May and we did it just fine. Last but not least, I see that you don't wear your rings a lot of the time in pictures that I've seen. Why? So I'm not wearing my rings right now. I'm trying not to show my finger because it's like bleeding. I don't wear my rings anytime I'm at home. I want as little wear and tear on my rings as possible, so I wear them as soon as I'm getting ready to leave. I put them on, and then as soon as I come home, I might have them on for a few hours after, but I take them off and keep them in the same place so I don't lose them. Don't have to worry about them getting stuck on any blankets or anything. Don't have to worry about potentially losing my diamond or like warping the shape already more than I do of my my grandma's ring. So anytime I'm at home and comfortable or relaxing, I am not wearing my rings, which has nothing to do with my relationship or my love for my rings. It's just I want as little wear and tear on them as possible, so I take them off. Don't see a point in wearing them if I'm not out in public, really. Like, I'm literally cuddling with my husband. Why do I need to have my ring on to show that I'm married to? I don't know. One more question came through. I asked if there were any last minute questions. This one's from my girl Taylor. Hi, I miss you. How's life on the West Coast? What's been the biggest adjustment? So I'm gonna talk about this while I do my liner, so pray for me. Definitely not seeing my family every single day. So I am super close with my family. My entire family lives in the same town. So that's been the biggest adjustment, definitely not seeing them. It doesn't feel like the West Coast because we're in the center of Oregon, so it's like the high desert, so it still takes like 3 hours if we were to want to actually fully go to the coast. Well, actually more like 4 hours to get to the actual coast, so it doesn't feel like we're West Coast, other than the fact that the coldest it's been is like 38, which has been so nice. Especially right now. I think I heard that back home it's so cold right now. That's been super nice. Not a ton of snow either. Like, we've gotten snow for sure, but it's been great. Oh, I love it out here. I've already told you, I don't know if we do move, it's not going to be for a while because I love my job as well. It's definitely something that is different from the original plan, but that's okay. We planned on moving out not too long, probably be here a year and then move again, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, I really love it. I personally don't know when or if we'll leave. Sorry, babe. To come out and visit is still on the table. Anyone that wants to. We have this entire extra room that you can sleep in and have privacy and hang out. Thank you all for joining me. This is gonna be a bitch to edit, but I need to go finish packing, finish with my hair. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Any remaining questions you may have, just leave them down below or ask me on any of the other social medias that I have, which are also linked down below. And yeah, I'll see you all in my next video. In the meantime, make sure to spread some positivity. Bye, guys.